Hey, it's Michael Saul, but everybody calls me Tiny, and this video is a perfect spot for a pullback. Plus, is this the Bitcoin crash that everyone has been waiting for? This is stock market analysis for the week of November 13th, 2017. Hope you had a great week last week. I know I did. So, if you want intra-week updates from me, go to www.attackthemarkets.com. Put in your first name and best email address, click the sign me up button or join the list button. I always get that confused. And then go to the email you used to sign up and look for an email from me. There's a link in there that you must click in order to confirm that it was actually you that filled out this form. Once you do that, you'll start getting intra-week updates from me. Okay, let's take a look at the market. So we hit new highs once again early in the week. And then we started to pull back. Now, the pullback isn't sharp. It isn't a crash. It isn't a correction. It's a pullback, which should be expected. Okay, I get a lot of emails from people going, oh, you're always calling the top. I don't know when I've called the top in, at this point, over a decade, over more than a decade. Okay, I don't call tops, but I do say, hey, when we're popping out to new highs, it's always the time to trail stops and possibly take profits. Okay, nothing goes straight up. Nothing goes straight, well, I guess things can go straight down, but nothing goes straight up. Even though this looks like a straight up chart, there are plenty of pullbacks, plenty of opportunity to take profits, wait for, keep some powder dry, wait for another opportunity, and look to get in. Now, the reason that I think this is a good spot for a pullback, a longer pullback than just this, again, not a crash, not a correction, not a bear market, a pullback is because we're heading into Thanksgiving week. So this is the last week before Thanksgiving week, and in my opinion, Thanksgiving week could be a bullish week. So I would look to see this week as a good opportunity for some profit taking, and then looking back at that Thanksgiving week if there's a setup for a possible buy signal. I don't go off of seasonality saying, oh, Thanksgiving week is always bullish. There's no such thing as always in the market. And whenever there is something that's always, like, oh, it's worked the last 27 times, all of a sudden it'll stop working, right? What's the saying? When you find the key, they change the lock. And that's especially true in trends in the stock market. Okay, when everybody starts realizing, oh, look at this, all of a sudden they start front running it. So what you'll see happen, like the Christmas rally, will start coming in November or January effect and all this other stuff. Some stuff holds up okay seasonality wise, but there is a lot of front running when people are expecting seasonal tendencies. Anyway, I believe that we will get a pullback from here. I do not think it's a shorting opportunity. I think that this next pullback will offer a fantastic buying opportunity. Now, I don't know if we're going to get that buying opportunity the week of Thanksgiving, or maybe we're going to go into December, but I do believe that after we get a nice, decent pullback, and again, does that mean size? Well, size is part of it, but I mean, even something like this, and something that's more than a couple of days, I do believe that will offer a buying opportunity. I do believe we're going to get markups into the end of the year. It doesn't make sense to have all this profit taking happen at the end of this year. It makes more sense to actually run them and gun them and to mark them up, because the year has been fantastic. So a lot of profits here. And in my opinion, I believe that is going to happen. Okay, I don't see us having a huge correction. Now, I did read an article about junk bonds and calling this, is this the canary in the coal mine? And, is this one of the canaries in the coal mine? Meaning, is this a warning signal? And it's funny because when I used to run the newsletter with Paul Schatz, he used to write a column called Canaries in the Coal Mine, which is funny that I read it this week. Anyway, so junk, I mean, this is not a good move last week because high-yield bonds can be a leader of equities, a leading signal for equities. But overall, we are still in this big range. Okay, we haven't even taken out the 2017 lows yet. All right, and we've more or less just been sideways. So it's not like, okay, junk has been trending super hard to the upside, and all of a sudden now it
caught a sharp reversal. Not the case. It's basically been sideways for a year. Okay, and yeah, when you expand it out a little and just look from March over, oh, look at this, look at the volatility. All right. I mean, still overall, price-wise, not too much volatility, right? This is what a lot of stocks do in an hour or a couple of minutes compared to, what it did in months. But I don't think that junk is signaling, hey, you know what, that's the end of the market here. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. Of course I could be wrong. Anybody who tells you that they're never wrong is, full of beans, right? But I don't think junk is telling us, hey, you know what, we're in trouble here. So let's look at the rest of the indexes and go through the rest of the market like we like to do. So the Dow down to the 20 EMA, pausing here. The Russell, the Russell's acting weaker than the rest. It was out in front for a little bit, but now it's adjusted back. There is support down here at 144 and change. Mid caps, okay, they're kind of consolidating here, not doing much. NASDAQ still acting okay, still acting strong. Look at some of these stocks. Look at Amazon here, hanging out, coiling up at the highs up here. Here's Apple doing the same thing. Here's Alphabet. Doesn't look as super strong as Amazon and Apple, but doesn't look bad. Here's Netflix, back to the 50-day moving average. How about like Microsoft, coiling up at the highs here? Boy, Microsoft has had some run from $50 or sub 50, right? I mean, just what a killer move on this. And it's kind of a sleeper stock. I mean, obviously everybody knows who Microsoft is, so it's not like, oh, this stock came out of nowhere, but just a sleeper stock thinking that people go to sleep on, and they think, it's just Microsoft, there's better fish to fry, and then they miss out on a really nice move like this. How about like a Cisco? All right, like a Cisco is more like, all right, yeah, it's still okay, right? Down from 22 up to 35, and I'm rounding, of course. I mean, still a beautiful move here, but not like not like the kind of moves we're seeing in some of the other stocks. Okay, but with Cisco, you could sit there and go, the old tech stocks, but no, it's more of a range than anything here. All right, let's look at some sectors. Here's the semiconductors, still acting very well. NVIDIA leading the way. A lot of hype around NVIDIA making the chip for the smart car and all this big talk about it. I mean, what a move on NVIDIA back from May of 2017, which is this year, by the way. And look at this move from 100 up to 220. Let's look at Intel. Yeah, nice shove to the upside. Now pulling back, could form a bull flag. But again, okay, we're going to go back to Intel for a second. Already a Klatenka put in. See, I'm expecting something like this with Intel. All right, because we hit the high and now we're kind of zigzagging back. I would not be surprised if Intel did the same thing. We're pretty stretched from the moving averages. How about banks? Okay, banks were looking okay. They were coiling up here, and then they took this sharp pullback down here below the 50-day moving average, but right back to a home base, this nice range. Here's Bank of America, watch the 50-day moving average. Here's JP Morgan, watch the 50-day moving average for support. Citigroup, watch right on the 50-day moving average, so you want to watch that. And here's Northern Trust at the 50-day moving average, not coming from all-time highs or recent highs, like the other stocks. That would be from up here, but still back down to the 50-day moving average. Okay, let's look at the broker-dealer. So the broker-dealer acting better than banks here. This looks like a bull flag to me. If you look at Goldman, it's a little bit sloppy. Here's Morgan back down to the 50-day moving average, though. But the XBD overall definitely holding up better than the banks. How about biotechs? Biotechs hit the highs. Now they're over here. Looks like it could be forming a short-term top, not calling it a new bear market or anything like that, but it's the spirit of a head and shoulders. You got a left shoulder head and a right shoulder. If it loses 4,000, it could get a test of the 200-day moving average. Not being helped by Gilead, who's at the 200-day moving average, though. So, I mean, if this holds, maybe we'll get the bounce and the index will follow. But if this loses a 200-day moving average, look for a test down to the 68s And then you got a gap fill down here at just south of 68. So you want to watch that. Here's Biogen. Okay, again, looks like the overall, like the biotech index, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Yeah, it's not symmetrical. It's not a textbook head and shoulders. Fine. But that's why I call it in the spirit of that pattern. Caterpillar. Caterpillar back to the 20 EMA. Is this going to lead to yet another big move like we've seen out of previous pauses in Caterpillar? Here's John Deere. Okay, John Deere popped to the high and then pulled back. But a lot of these stocks, we may have really nice setups that you just wait and be patient for. I mean, trading is a complete profession based around patience. You have to be patient. If you're not patient, you're at risk of trading with over emotional exuberance. All right, I'm not going to get on the whole trading mindset thing right now, but anytime you put on a trade, there is emotion involved. Anybody thinks they could trade without emotion, they're making it up. Right? You trade on emotion because it deals with money. But when you exercise patience, okay, at least you have the emotion part pulled back as much as you can. You're waiting, you're taking your time, and then you're managing the trade appropriately. All right, but more on that in another video. Gold. Yeah, gold still above its 200-day moving average, but between its 50 and 200. Talk to me when it breaks one of those. GDX, though, below the 200 and the 50. Remember, my friend Mike Swanson always tells me people get interested in gold miners above 24. We are below 24 here. We're coiling. If this releases to the downside, expect the yellow metal to follow. Here's oil. So oil in a small little bull flag here, but overall, it's still in this range. All right, so you got to watch this right here. Okay, it just popped out of it, but you do have resistance here, resistance here. So you got resistance up to about the 1250 area, but a nice move for oil. And unfortunately, it's being reflected in the freaking gas prices. How about bonds? So everybody's excited about bonds. Oh, finally a rally? No. So bonds remounted the 200-day, got over the 50-year, but notice how the 50 and the 200 are starting to squeeze. So on the previous move, it held the 200, then it held the 50, but the next time, what did it do? It breached the 200, it remounted, then it breached the 50, and then came right back down. So as these get tighter, you're going to see these get breached more and more, but this doesn't mean that that bonds are deciding on a direction right now. So let me recap, and then I'll talk about Bitcoin a little bit. So this is a perfect spot for a pullback the week before Thanksgiving. I do think that we have a good chance of potentially getting a resumption of the push on the week of Thanksgiving, but doesn't have to happen there. I just feel that this part right here, after a new high, after a couple of quick pullbacks that led to new highs, we're in a really nice setup spot to start a decent sized pullback. And I don't mean bear market crash, correction, any of that. I'm talking even something like this, right, lasting a couple of weeks. And what is this? I mean, what even was this percentage? This percentage was, call it 248 down to 242, something like this, couple percentage points. And really, setting up for an end-of-year type move. Okay, let me get the Bitcoin chart. All right, so I don't know how well this is going to come out. I'm just using the CoinDesk web app chart. But you see here what happened is Bitcoin came up to 78.79, and then it went all the way down to 5,500. This is in a couple of days. So there's a lot of talk. That's it. The top's in. It's over. That's it for Bitcoin, and it's not gonna recover from this. And I don't agree. All right. Now, for those of you once again who have been following me, I've never bought Bitcoin. I've never bought any part of Bitcoin, a piece of Bitcoin. I don't even know what they call pieces of Bitcoin, but I know you could trade it because I'm not a big fan of cryptocurrencies. I am highly anticipating the Bitcoin futures, okay, but that was last week's video. But I'm not a big believer in the cryptocurrencies. I'm not saying that I am correct, because obviously I've missed some big moves here, but I also don't think that this is the how tops are put in. We do have a little 2B move up here, which preluded the pullback, but I think there's some value down here. There's some support down in here, and then even down here, we already got a bounce off of the recent lows. Sorry about that. I'm all screwed up here with these charts. There we go. I don't know what I did. I just screwed up my. Hang on. I'm going to refresh it. I'm going to do it live so you see how bad I am. Okay. So, but you see here we have support down here. Then we have support up here at just under $5,000. All right. So this got down to 5,500. It did get a bounce. I don't know how up to date this is, but it looks like 6,200. So I don't think that this is the quote-unquote crash that a lot of the Bitcoin haters are looking for. I'm not a Bitcoin hater. I'm just not a Bitcoin lover or liker. I'm kind of apathetic. Right here, I don't own Bitcoin and don't care much about the fork. Right? That's like perfect for me. Okay? I really don't care. Like I said, I'm watching it when the futures come out and everything, and I have to be aware of the market and the price action, because I want to see how the technical reactions are on Bitcoin. All right, who's watching these markets and who's trading the technical levels? That's important to me, because it's going to help me once the Bitcoin futures come out. All right. Anyway, I don't think this is the crash that everybody was looking for. This will probably lead to another buying opportunity. I'm not buying any of it, but I am getting now a lot of emails asking me, because I talk about it briefly in the video, so a lot of people are asking me to do technical looks. I could have a better chart than this, but to me there's just value here and then value down here just under 5,000. Any questions? tiny@attackthemarkets.com. Have a great trading week. Let's see if we do get a pullback, and let's see if it sets up for either a buying opportunity the week of Thanksgiving or something a little farther down the line. But I do think there will be one more nice and solid buying opportunity for this year. Have a great week. Sign up to the list if you haven't already to get intra-week updates.